All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the magic behind modern software. We're talking about the incredible systems that take code from a developer's keyboard and put it right onto your device, powering, well, pretty much everything you use.
I mean, really think about it for a second. You tap that update button and just moments later, boom, new features, annoying bugs are gone, the whole experience is just better. It feels instantaneous, right? Like some kind of tech wizardry. But it's not magic. It's actually a beautifully choreographed performance, a high-tech symphony working in perfect harmony.
And that gets us to the heart of the problem this all solves. It wasn't always this easy. For a long time, getting an idea from a developer's brain out to millions of users was a super slow, incredibly risky, and just plain complicated mess. One tiny mistake could bring the entire system crashing down for everyone. Not good.
To solve this massive headache, the tech world basically assembled what I love to call the DevOps Orchestra. And that's the key thing to remember here. It's not about one single superstar tool. It's an entire ensemble of specialized instruments, and each one has a totally essential part to play in delivering a flawless show.
Okay, so let's meet the star players in this orchestra. Once you understand what each one does, and more importantly, how they all talk to each other, you'll see exactly how this whole symphony comes together.
So here's our cast of characters for today. We've got CICD, Docker, Jenkins, Kubernetes, and EC2. Now, the biggest mistake people make is thinking these things compete with each other. They don't. They're collaborators. Think of them like the different sections in the orchestra. You've got your strings, your percussion, your brass section. Each one is unique, and you absolutely need all of them.
First up, let's talk about the venue. Every orchestra needs a stage to perform on, right? Well, that's EC2, or Elastic Compute Cloud. It's the foundational piece of the puzzle. These are the raw, on-demand virtual servers, usually from a provider like Amazon Web Services, that create the actual physical space where all this incredible magic is going to happen.
Next in line is Docker. Okay, imagine giving every single musician, no matter where they are, the exact same piece of sheet music. That's what Docker does. It packages up an application along with everything it needs to run into a neat little standardized box called a container. This is all defined in a simple text file called a Docker file. And why is this so huge? Because it solves the age-old developer problem of, well, it worked on my machine. Now it works exactly the same everywhere.
So, who's making sure everything happens exactly when it's supposed to? That would be our diligent stage manager, Jenkins. Jenkins is all about automation. It's the engine working tirelessly behind the scenes, following a script, usually a file called the Jenkins file, that lays out every single step. It's the one that takes the code, runs the tests, builds the packages, and gets everything ready for the main performance, all automatically.
And now for the maestro, the conductor of the live show itself, Kubernetes. Once our app is packaged up and ready to go, Kubernetes takes the stage. It's in charge of managing all those Docker containers, organizing them into groups called pods. If traffic suddenly spikes, Kubernetes adds more performers. If one of them stumbles, Kubernetes replaces it instantly. It's all about making sure the show goes on for the audience, flawlessly, no matter what happens backstage.
And finally, we have CICD. Now, this one is a little different. It's not a single tool or instrument. It's the musical score. It's the philosophy, the whole methodology that the orchestra follows. Continuous integration, or CI, is about constantly blending new code into the main project. And continuous delivery, CD, is about automatically getting those changes out to users. This score dictates the tempo and the flow of the entire performance.
So we've met all the players. We know what they do individually. Now for the fun part. Let's see how they all perform together. How do we get from a developer writing a single line of code to this grand symphony playing for the user? Okay, here's how it works. It all starts with our composer, the developer, who writes some new code and saves it. The second that happens, our stage manager, Jenkins, gets an alert and immediately kicks off the automation pipeline. First, Jenkins grabs that code and, using the Docker file, builds our standardized container, our sheet music. After it zips through some automated tests to make sure everything sounds right, Jenkins gives the signal to our conductor, Kubernetes, that it's showtime. Kubernetes then masterfully directs a seamless update, deploying the new containers without anyone in the audience even noticing. And where is this whole concert taking place? It's all happening live on the stage provided by those EC2 servers.
So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. These tools are not in competition with each other. The question is never, should I use Docker or Kubernetes? The whole point is that you use them together. The real power, the real magic, is in the harmony. You know, the source material we're looking at today just illustrates this so perfectly. Let me read this bit out loud. You use Docker to package your application, Jenkins to automate the process, Kubernetes to orchestrate and scale. The entire process follows the CICD methodology. I mean, that just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly sums up how each player has a role in the final piece.
And that really is the big takeaway here. Look, a single violin can be beautiful, for sure. But an entire orchestra? That's breathtaking. The magic of modern DevOps isn't in any single tool. It's in how they all play together, seamlessly, to deliver these amazing digital experiences to us faster and more reliably than we ever thought possible.
Which of course leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. What we've just looked at is today's state-of-the-art orchestra. But tech, as we know, never ever stands still. So, what's next? What new instruments are waiting in the wings? Maybe ones powered by AI, or new kinds of conductors focused on something called platform engineering that are going to completely rewrite the music of software all over again.